Good morning, 8th grade. Let me give you some answers for lesson 3. So I will show you my answer key. Now, you should have had your lesson done before I showed you the answers. So, yeah, that's one of the requirements of school is that you complete your previous lesson, before you do today's lesson. I don't know if I'll show the answers every day, but yeah, I'm going to give you some answers and you can check them. And yeah, I'll take a grade. I don't know exactly how I'll do that, but when you turn in your book, when it's completed, then I'll have it. You be sure to put your grade on the lessons that I checked. So I know that I gave you the answers for lesson 3. Today we're lesson 4. And it's talking about insurance. We've had some lessons on insurance before, but there's just a few things that I'll brush you up on. If you look at your first part, you should read that vehicle insurance is what I was talking about. And there's many factors that enter in on paying insurance for your vehicle. And if you live in Indiana, and I think if you live in any state of America, you have to have insurance. So you can't get around it. Now, some of us use MAM, and so that's more of a church insurance. Not everything applies to what the lesson talks about, but yet there are some things that do. And one of the things that really make a difference that is important to you is the third paragraph. It says some factors influence the premiums for commercial vehicle insurance, such as a person's age and driving habits. So if I can just be plain and tell you, your age is going to be against you. If you are 50, like I am, or almost, it kind of gives you a little boost. But a 16-year-old, I'll tell you what, insurance companies jack the price. I don't know why. Yeah, I do know why. It's got something to do with driving habits. Now, don't laugh, because I'll probably have a wreck when I leave here if I tell you that teenagers have poor driving habits. Yeah. Remember that premiums are what you have to pay, and then there's another word that's deductible. That's how much you have to pay again, okay? So premiums are what it costs to have the insurance, and deductibles are what happens if you have a wreck. Then you pay the first certain amount. And a lot of times it's maybe $1,000, or it might be down to $500. The first $500 you have to pay. So if you just have a little scratcher, and it costs $200 to fix a scratch on the side of your car, which I don't know if you can get anything fixed for $200, but you have to pay the whole bill. Now, if it's a $2,000 bill and your deductible is $1,000, then that means that the insurance company will pay the other $1,000. So you just have 3 problems about this, and each problem is different. I'm not going to help you do the work. I'm not going to set up on the first one, but I will tell you that this guy, poor old Bill, hit a deer, and he has to figure out how much he needs to pay. You subtract. I'll let you set up what to subtract. Number 2, this guy here didn't pay his premiums all at one time. He made them quarterly. So you divide for number 2's answer. Turn the page. And number 3, this guy was debating about putting Ford parts on his truck or aftermarket parts. And there was a difference in price. So I set the problem up. I'll let you figure out what to brackets to put here, but you can set it like a proportion, and it's wanting to know what percent the aftermarket parts are of the original parts. And so you put the 100 on the bottom because you're working with a percent. The top is unknown. I put question marks here. You figure out which numbers to put in these other brackets. Remember, this is 100 here, so that will give you an idea what to put here. And this one up here is the other figure that you have on question 3. Use your calculator if you need to do that. And your answer will be 8%. Yeah, there on the next part, we remember the number of significant digits. Let me go over, and you have 2 story problems, number 19 and 20. I am thinking that you should know how to do 19. If you want to find the probability of something, you should remember, you just times your choices together. Now, number 20 says this way: a farmer bought used tractor tires from Westside for $380 a piece. This is 2/5 the cost of new tires. What was the cost of a new tire? Use a fraction proportion to solve. Okay, maybe we should discuss that just for a moment. Would you buy a used tire? Well, there could be some factors enter in here. If you was looking at a vehicle and you're saying, here's a set of tires, it's half wore out, I can buy them for 1/4 of the price. Oh, well, let me tell you what would make a difference in my opinion. If it was an old beater that I was just driving back to work, back and forth from work to home, it's a 5-mile trip that I make every day, or a 10-mile trip, you know, I would say, oh, car's about shot. Yeah, I'll put this used set of tires on it, because if I put a brand new set of tires on it, ooh, it might double the value of the car. No, you wouldn't do that. But you know, the tires would cost as much as what the car is worth. Now maybe if you was looking at it from this way, if you had a business and you was putting a vehicle out there on the road that your employees were going to drive, and they was going to drive it to Indianapolis and back 3 times a week. That is a vehicle that you probably would not want to put a used set of tires on it. Because if it broke down here, you would be paying your employees. And yeah, it's just not a wise choice. Now that's my opinion, whether you buy new or used. And that works in every area of life. I'm saying that this man, this was a farmer, he was probably a produce farmer, and so he didn't use his tractor much. And that used tire that he put on the one side, the other one was about equal value. So instead of putting a brand new one here and having a half wore out here, he put this used one on. So both tires were about equal, and it didn't hurt the value. He saved some money, is what I would think. This is how you set up the problem. Sorry for that little speech there. That was free, by the way. You see, he had $380 was his price of his tire. It was 2/5 of a new one. Now, you see, I put 2/5 because the new price is going to be greater than the used price. Or I hope so, anyhow. Yes, it will be. So you multiply 5 times 380 and divide that answer by 2, and that will tell you what the new tire would cost. And be sure that your answer had better be bigger than 380, or you misfigured. If you have any questions, give me a call. I'm here to help you. We will do quiz tomorrow. I will give you just a little update on that as well before you do it. Thanks.